why me being more authentic is going to help you grow your business, get more of the things you want, be the person you probably want to be. My name is Brandon Jones, and I think for the longest time I've made content and I've made videos, and the way I've talked to people's, I say things that I think that they want to hear, or I don't really say what's on my mind. I don't really, I say about my wife, she typically can be unfiltered and just let it come out. I need to be more unfiltered, and that's my plan, because I know me as a business owner, as a father, as a dog dad. I got 4 of my dogs in here right now. I can, as a husband, as somebody that's built businesses and had success and had failures, and I can give you so much value and help you so much. Part of my problem is I'm always thinking about what I'm going to get out of it. And that's not the right thing to do, is it? Or is it? We all want benefits from things that we do, but I'm just going to be honest with you about how you can improve your business, your discipline, your life. And I think I got to do that by first telling you a little bit about me. When I first started in the wellness industry, right, my first 2 years before I started, from 2011 to 2013, here I even take another step back. Let me go back even farther. So I went to high school with my wife, right? It wasn't my wife back then, obviously. We went to high school together. We did the whole on and off thing. Usually it was me making all the mistakes, being stupid. But she held on for me, which I'm so grateful for. We got serious, went to college together, got married. I was 21, she was 20. And then got done with college in '07, got my bachelor's. Then I went on to Pantex, which was this corporate job. And I was making great money. I mean, I think, in 2007, I started out around $70,000 a year range, without overtime yet. And so great money back then. And, I went into that job knowing I wasn't going to like it. I already knew it was boring. It was shift work, security work. I got to do some great training. I got to learn a lot about guns and tactics and things like that. But I knew that I wanted something else. I did not know what it was at the time. Fast forward around 2011, I'm watching the CrossFit Games on TV. And I remember thinking, number one, I want to do that. I want to compete like that because I love physical activity. I love working out, all those things. And so I remember talking to my wife, telling her over and over that I want to open a gym. I think I should open a gym. CrossFit was a thing. I can open a CrossFit gym. And I tried other things, right? I applied for police departments. I actually got accepted at the Austin Police Department. Wasn't great timing. My daughter was 1-ish. My wife was pregnant. And I remember her telling me, she's like, hey, we'll be here when you get back. When I would talk to her about going. So that was a no-go because I'm not leaving my wife. So for 2 years, I talked to my wife about starting a business. It took me 2 years. Many of you are in that place right now. Like, you haven't started your business yet because you're fearful. And I was fearful, very fearful of doing something different, spending money on something. Like, I had a big fear of money. And I still fight that today. Like, even though we've done really well, a lot of success, it's still something I have to overcome now. But I finally started it in 2013. I went out, got a collateral loan on my truck, right? That's how I got the money. Bought the equipment online, had it shipped to my warehouse that I rented, and that's how I started. No clue about business. I did not know a single thing. I didn't ask for help from nobody. I had this pride issue where I can do everything on my own, and I just started it. And it was rough. It caused a lot of issues in my marriage, and it caused a lot of issues with my kids because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I would go to work for 12, 13 hours. Then I would go home, and I would try to work on the business at home. And I would waste, luckily my kids were really young. Now don't get me wrong, I was still very involved with my family because I've always been, I'm called the mom dad. So I've always been involved with a lot of things. Back then, I missed a lot of time when they were really, really young because I was trying to build this business. I'd be sleeping 4 hours a day, maybe, if that. And so, but that was 2011, or excuse me, that was 2013 to 2015 range. 2016, I knew something had to change. I knew that I could not continue keep doing this because I very little to no benefit in what I was doing, especially not financially. It was really just taking my time. So I got to this point where it's like, hey, this is a hobby. Should I give this up? Should I just throw in a towel and be done with it? And I finally decided I needed help. And I can't tell you the exact way that I found. I'm pretty sure it was a Facebook group that I found them posting about coaching, this and that. And I inquired and I hired a coach, which was a big step for me. And it wasn't like a cheap coach either. Like, it was a lot for me back then. And so I hired a coach, and within a few months I had turned everything around. And it wasn't because this coach did everything for me. He just showed me a path, right? He showed me the things and told me the things I needed to do, and it was my responsibility to do those things. And I think that's really hard for people. You can look at videos all day, right? You can go look at a video. I don't like doing social media ads myself. I don't like running the ads. There's videos showing you how to do every single piece of it, right? But I don't want to do it. I don't like doing it. There's certain things I do and don't like do, and we have to make ourselves do certain things. So what I was learning from this business coach, he was teaching me, like, to be honest, the biggest thing he said, like, look, you have all these things that you think that matters. None of it matters right now. The only thing that matters is you getting more people in the door so you're making more money. That's the only thing that matters. And so that's probably the first lesson I want to push off to you, no matter what business you're in. You know, there's lots of things. You want things to look perfect. You want your messaging to be a certain way. You want your your setup to be a certain way. You want all these things done a certain way. But really, at the end of the day, when you first get going in business, the only thing that matters is getting money in your pocket. It's getting people coming in to pay for your business, for your service. For me, starting out in the gym business, so memberships or my boot camps, whatever it was. When that finally clicked, and that was my main focus, I learned Facebook ads. I learned, how to sell. I learned, how to get people in the door to just have opportunities to talk to people. So then guess what? I started having a lot of success. Like, I was getting people in the door. I was selling people packages. I was growing my gym. And now once I got growth and I had some success, what do you think the next thing I had to do? I had to deal with all the chaos I just created, because I did create chaos. Growth creates chaos. And so I started structuring things. He was teaching me how to set up systems and processes. And from hiring that, if I wouldn't have hired that first coach, I would not be where I was today, because I learned so much faster. I learned a lot in those first couple of years of what didn't work, and a couple of things that did work, and just, it was a really hard grind on me and the family. But once I got help, I moved so much faster. So much faster. And I fast forward to now, or not now, but I fast forward, so from 2016, let's fast forward to 2019, was when I sold the gym. Like, it was successful enough that I was making $100,000 a year at my corporate job, about 100, and I left there in 2018. 2018? Yes, 2018. And I was doing the gym full time. And I wasn't making $100,000. But between my wife and what I was making there, I felt confident enough to leave there because it was in a profit. I was doing well. Now, I will tell you this. One of my big mentalities when it comes to business is setting things up to operate without me. And that was hard in the gym business because I was the face of the gym. Everybody knew me as the owner, head coach, all that. And I worked through staffing, getting coaches in, having a manager. And that was kind of that process I went through, is bringing a manager in and getting him connected so that I could work my way out of it. Because I'm probably ADHD, but I get bored easy and I like to move to new things. I'm not saying I was necessarily bored with the gym, like the people. I love the people, but I was bored with the business and I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to do something different. So in the very end of 2017, my wife started Premier IV, started our wellness business. And she got into it about 3 months in. She was done. She was like, I can't do this anymore. Now, she was very busy as a realtor. She was working stupid amount of hours. We were not doing it together. I remember this. Here's me being authentic and honest. We were talking about moving to Florida. We were going to move to Florida. We were looking at Boca Raton area. And I remember being so excited. I've been asking my wife for years to move. I wanted to get out of Amarillo. I wanted to go where there was water, where there was trees. I just wanted to explore and get out and do something different. And that was my whole goal. Like, it's like, hey, after college, go somewhere. Well, at this point, we're in 2017, early 2018. So we got married in 2009. So what is that? 9 years we've been married. So I'm not thinking we're going to move. Well, then this idea of moving to Florida pops up. I'm crazy excited. She's actually about it. I'm like, wow, this is a big move. Well, then she comes to me and says, hey, I want to open this wellness IV therapy clinic. And I was like, okay. She's like, but we're not going to be able to move right now. We're going to have to put that off. I was mad. I'm not going to lie. I was frustrated. I was mad. I did not want to really do it. I told her, I was like, that's fine. You can do it yourself. Not the most husband thing to say. But I told her, you can do it yourself. My wife's very much, the phrase that describes my wife is hold my beer, watch this. If you tell her she can't do something or that she's going to have to do it on her own, she's going to step up and do it on her own. We have two very different mentalities. Hers is, hold my beer, watch this, I can do this. Mine is, all right, perfect, let me get this started, then who can I find to take it over so I can move on to the next thing? So she starts it. She got off to a good start, like hiring people, getting the products and all that. Everything started, and then she was just burnt out, not really making a lot of money in it, and just wanted to be done, just sell and get out of it. So I said, hey, let me take it over. We had been fighting, we'd been arguing. She's sleeping, probably 3-4 hours a night, working all day, real estate, working, because there was more stress on her, right? When I left the corporate job, she's more the breadwinner back then. She's making more money. I was, now she is. And then now she opened another business, and she probably wasn't the best back then at delegating. And that's what I just learned how to do. So I could see the business from the outside and say, man, I know how to make this business successful. So I stepped in. She was overwhelmed, stressed. I mean, any of these things that you've probably felt, that's what she was. She literally, when I stepped in, she said, that's fine. When I say she put her hands up and didn't come back in, that's what happened. She left our location. She did not come back in. And she was like, I'm done. You do what you can do with it. And I say this, and I mean this, and this is me being authentic. It took 120 days, right? I came in. The first thing I did was get with her name was Taylor. She was back then she was our admin. And I got with her, and she was a big help. She eventually ended up turning into my office manager. And then also I got with my head nurse, and we started putting systems and processes in play to do things right. The big thing that I focused on, though, was marketing. So we did start doing systems and processes, but the first thing that I focused on was marketing. Hey, let's run ads. Like, let's get people in for IVs. Let's get people in for these other services, injections, different things. So we started running more ads. We started fixing our lead follow-up. So that is the very first thing I focused on. And guess what? Within 120 days, I doubled sales. And I'm talking about we went from like 20,000 probably a month up to like 50. We had a big jump. And it's because I focused on what mattered. And I was in there initially, a decent amount, getting things going. Then I wasn't. So I'm running these two businesses. The gym's still going, and I'm running the wellness business. And I don't have to be there. I would go in like maybe once a week, meet with my office manager, and that was about it, if that. So very fast I had success, but I didn't start with like systems and processes and all that. I started with just getting people in the door, getting business. Like that was like everything we got to do. Let's fix the lead follow-up. Oh, I know we got to fix this stuff over here. I know we need to do that, but we're not going to focus on that stuff right now. We're going to focus on this, getting people in the door. And it worked. And so now we're going to fast forward again. So 2020, we're going to move. So 2019, we decided to move. So the first thing I do is I went to 3 people to sell my gym. It was a no, then a yes. Third person said yes. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I love those people. I love those gym. I put, 6 years of blood, sweat, and tears in that gym. And to sell it, and I sold it to somebody else who didn't use my name, and which I'm glad because he didn't make it. But he took all the people, all the equipment, he essentially bought it, and COVID hit him hard. He ended up not making it. But we sold that. We moved 5.5 hours away to Aledo, just outside of Fort Worth. And so things are going good, right? We've moved. COVID hits. We weren't shut down for too long, which was nice. But I'm still running things remotely. And in 21, I think it was 2021, when we went, no, it was 21, may have been 22. It was 22. So 22, we opened up our second location, right? I opened up another location that's here near me, about 20 minutes away in Weatherford. So opened up Weatherford. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I even wanted to open a second location. My wife was like, hey, the place that I go and I get my eyelashes done, like they have a room to rent, 10 by 10 room. If you're interested, it's like $800. I said, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, let's do it. I was like, let's start another location and just see what happens. I was like, that's cheap. Like, if it doesn't work out, I'm not out nothing crazy. Everyone was rocking it. Let's go. I opened that location. I knew I didn't have the best nurse. She was good at doing IVs, good at injections. She was horrible at organization, the nurse that I had there. But she was the one I had at the time. And so we got started, and it started out good. Like, we got really busy, 3 months in. And I'm in this 10 by 10 room. It wasn't a great setup at the med spa that I was in. It was not a very busy med spa. And the owner was, to be honest, she was a bitch and a big pill. So was the other massage therapist that was there. And so about 3 or 4 months in, I broke the lease, found another location that we're still in now. And we continued to grow. And so from 22 through now, I still have that location, still have another location. But you know what we focused on whenever I opened? Ads, Facebook ads, lead generation. I also have virtual assistants that we use. And that's what we focused on, is how can I get more people in the door? How can I sell more people IVs, injections, and different services? How? Like, just get them in the door. That's what I focused on. And then we fixed things along the way. We fixed systems and processes along the way. Because I know that if you don't have money, if you don't have revenue coming in, you don't have business. So fast forward, so from the next couple of years, me and my wife have done, like, we jumped off the cliff a lot more. We've done Airbnb. She got big into wanting to do Airbnbs, so we were doing Airbnbs. We did like 6, 7 Airbnbs. I think we still have like 6 of them. We did wholesale. She wholesaled 4 or 5 houses. I don't remember how many, right around there. We started taking more risk, having more success. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's all easy, because it's not. It's risk. It's late nights. It's, arguing and fighting. But is it worth it? 100%. Like, the things that we've been through together, like, our marriage is so strong. Now, one thing I left out was in 2019, I think it was. Yes. We had marital issues. Never really talked about it much publicly. We've talked about it with friends and others, and we weren't on the same page, me and my wife. We were both running businesses separately, and so we weren't connecting. We weren't communicating well. And for all yous out there that are married, that you're entrepreneurs, I want you to really hear what I'm about to say. My issue was I didn't hear her. She would tell me things. I may be looking at her, but I didn't hear her. I didn't really take it to heart what she was saying and, meet her communication needs like she needed. And what the need that she wasn't fulfilling me was, she wasn't communicating with me. She was holding things in. There wasn't as much affection there that I needed, because I'm a very affectionate person. And I wasn't getting those needs met. So she would hold something in, hold, and she'd explode, right? Part of it, like she'd tell me something, I'm not, confirming what she's saying. I'm not actually listening to her, so I'm not either. If it's something she's asking me to do, I'm not doing it, or if she's something she needs help with, I'm not. So we didn't have a good marriage at that point, and so we kept going separate ways to the point that we almost didn't work. Like we almost, I don't like to say the D word, but it almost happened. We got close, and when all that happened, my first thought was like, oh, let's go get help. And that was all from my business mentality of like, oh, we need help in business? Cool, I'll go get a business coach. I'm always big in health and fitness. Okay, if somebody wants my help, I'll be their fitness coach, right? It's the same thing, get a coach, just a coach for everything. So it took a little while, but we finally started going to counseling, improving. And I'll tell you right now, our marriage is stronger than ever. Our communication is better than ever. We love being around each other more than anybody else, which you would think that you should do that anyways, but we would much rather spend a night together hanging out than going out with friends or going to events or whatever, just because we enjoy each other's company. But fast forward to business. So here it is. The next big leap was 24. We bought 15 acres of land. And it was really nerve-wracking for me because it was a lot of money. And my wife's very much just do it, let's just go. I'm kind of the more calculated, let's look at numbers, this and that. And so, which I very much love her for that because it's brought so many great blessings to us because we've taken a lot of risk, and she's a big part of that. So now we have the land going, right? We're building a house. Should be done at the end of June. And we got our house for sale now that we're in here. And, this year we partnered on another location, a third location that we're inside of a gym. We'll see how that's going to go. But, my goal of making this video is to tell you that, like, I'm a regular person like you are. And to be more real with you and help you, let you come into my life and understand where I'm at, how I've gotten to where I am, and what my content's going to continue to start to look like. Like, I really want you to know me and know how I can help you with your business, no matter what it is. Like, I do coaching, not just in this wellness industry, but other industries. And a lot of it's the same. A lot of it comes down to you, as a business owner, doing the things you know you need to do to grow your business. And so it's getting rid of all this noise and homing in on the things that you need to accomplish to grow your business and be successful. And I can tell you at the top of that list, getting more clients or selling more products should be number one, right? Obviously, if there's safety, compliance, whatever, that may be before that. But after that, it's how do I get more clients? How do I get more people in the door? And most of you, so I usually talk a lot about organic, like going out and doing organic, reach out. It's a longer play. It's more grinding. And I did that when I was starting my gym industry. And it took a long time to get people in the door. The more events I did, the more that I got out there, I get people in, the more I worked on referral program. There's all these things that are great organically that work. They take more time. And so you can't give up after one or two things. Facebook ads. Social media ads, right? That's what I always push to grow quicker. I'm all about speed. So I hope this video has helped. I want it to be as authentic as possible. I want to tell you, about me, how I've gotten to where I've gotten. Maybe not all the fine details, but more of what my focus have been, some of the things we've been through. And I did all this with kids. My son is he'll be 15 this year. My daughter's 16. So many of you out there have kids. The last thing I'll leave you with is if you're trying to grow your business and you've just started or you've already launched, if you're not focusing all your time on getting more leads, getting more sales, like that's what you should be focusing all the time. I still do a lot of that, like on my coaching side and different things. Like I still talk to people. I'm having a conversation right before I got on here with a girl that's about to sign up with our program. Like it's a constant. And no, don't get me wrong. I've set up lots of systems and processes now after I've built business so that I can have a chill day whenever I want, and my days can look like I want them to. Like, I don't go in my locations, period. Like, I mean it when I say that. I go in to get IVs and injections. I deal with my ops manager remotely. We meet every now and then, but mostly over the phone. Because that's how I want my day to be set up. I want to be able to just go like yesterday. What was it, yesterday? Day before. Wednesday. Me and my wife just, hey, let's go to the lake today. I want my life set up like that. What I'm telling you, if you're not where you want to be, it's because of your habits. It's because you have no discipline. If you're watching Netflix, and I'm talking to myself, like, I know I should be stretching more. Last night I was watching some Viking show. It was, 10 o'clock. I should have turned it off. I should have went to bed. I should have at least been stretching while I was watching the show, but I wasn't. That's me being authentic with you, okay? You need to be authentic with yourself. You need to know that if you're not, right now, if you're building business, if you're not spending loads of time getting new clients, then you're not going to be successful. It's going to take you a very long time. So I hope this helps. Lots more content like this coming out, just being real and honest with you and trying to give you things that you can do to, work on you, your relationship, work on your business, things that you can do to be successful. So be authentic.